that the need is for a disaster of biblical proportion. What do you mean biblical? What he means is Old Testament. Yeah, they are real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling. 40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, the sea rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. That's hysteria.
Broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond, you're listening to 90.1 FM from the most trusted puppet in media. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning. Want to thank everyone, of course, for joining in the show. Of course, yes, it is Saturday. It's been a long week. It's been a long, arduous week, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But yes, we've made it. We made it through the week. And of course, it is Saturday. Once again, I want to thank everyone for listening to the show. Here we are broadcasting live out of the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond. Once again, you're listening to 90.1 FM. And here we are. Listen, this has been an interesting week because here I am. I'm sitting there. Well, I guess the levels are all crazy. Do you guys know what you're doing back there behind the glass? You guys know what you're doing over there behind the glass. All right, so you got everything all set up. Long and hard week. That's exactly right. See people joining into the chats right now. Over here, I see. Well, it's interesting because last week it was pretty fantastic. I did a small little TikTok reel. Yeah, I did a TikTok reel last week, and one of the things that was very interesting is I've been doing TikTok reels, since the beginning of the year. But it was the TikTok reel about Velma. Are you familiar with the Velma show? The one on HBO. Yes, the Velma show on HBO. Well, it seems to be very polarizing. Right? It was very polarizing. And of course, one of those interesting things about being so polarizing is that all of a sudden, hey there, I see you guys in the chat. I'll get to you in just a few moments. Like I said, people are down in the chat. Shout all you guys out in just a minute. But what happened is that I posted this reel on TikTok. When I posted the reel on TikTok, it ended up spiking. It's almost about 80,000 views right now. And of course, I had about 130 followers on TikTok. Had about 130 followers on TikTok. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it skyrocketed. Last time I checked, it was 2,735. Right. Yeah. Listen, I know it was completely unexpected to me. Never seen anything like that before, but I guess that's what happens when you have a video that goes viral. Not that I'm saying it went viral. I think the term viral is when it reaches 100,000, and that's when it's considered viral. But I guess it doesn't matter. I guess if you run a business, some people say just 10,000 views could be considered viral. But what happened is that out of nowhere, we shot up. And we were able to unlock a few things on TikTok. Yes, and one of the things that we unlocked on TikTok was the ability to live stream. Yeah, so you had to have at least 1,000 followers. You had to have at least 1,000 followers to live stream on TikTok, which was pretty incredible because, well, I thought it was going to take forever. I thought it was going to be forever, but leave it to Velma. Leave it to Velma to, take us all the way to past, well, like I said, past 1,000, 2,730 something. At least last time I checked. But here we are. We are broadcasting live on TikTok. So shout out to TikTok. Let's see. I have, Baby Yoda? I have Baby Yoda in the chat over here in TikTok. Now I can see some of this. So if you are in TikTok, you do leave a message, you don't hesitate. Say something. I'll try to see if I can look and shout you out. We're also broadcasting live here on Instagram. So here's the Instagram. We call this the Sam Cam. We call this the Sam Cam. So we have the Sam Cam going up. So we have the Sam Cam on TikTok. We have the Sam Cam over here also on Instagram. So we got two Sam Cams running over here, but have no fear. There are more Sam Cams, my dear. We have this one right over here, right? What happened? The raisin fell again. The raisin just always has some trouble. He has some trouble just staying up there. Well, he's probably had a hard week himself. The California Raisins, of course, they have a really hard time, a really hard week, singing and dancing all week long. But shout out to the people in the chat. Casual Toy Collector. Cato's collection as well. Like I said, I said DFS, Triple D in the chat, Kurt Kenobi, some other people, Ash Bailey, I see that as well. Skydro Walker over there on TikTok. Like I said, we're broadcasting live all over the place. And so want to let everybody know that there are other ways to listen to us. Now, of course, you're sitting there thinking, if you're just listening on the radio, well, that's great, because that's what we want you to do. Shout out to Hypercube as well. Sports Cards and Adrenaline. Love you too as well. But yeah, so here we are broadcasting live on TikTok, on Instagram, but we are over here on YouTube. So we're all over here. Well, because sometimes people say that sometimes people say, shout out to anime as well. So a lot of times people sit there and think that, well, not the TikTok. Well, hell, I don't know about the TikTok. This is the first time we're doing TikTok, but we're over here. We are on TikTok. But okay. So a lot of times people will say that the Instagram feed is not as stable. And so, of course, what we do is that we have backups. We have a backup here over on YouTube. So we're here on YouTube, but not only are we on YouTube, but we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter over here on this camera right here. So if you think about that for a moment, talk about setting the standard and raising the bar, which is what we do here. Setting the standard, raising the bar. The reason why we say setting the standard and raising the bar is because we've set the standard and then we've raised the bar. Of course, now everybody else is chasing after the standard, which we've already set. And now we're chasing the bar that we've already set above us. So like I said, setting the standard, raising the bar, which is what we do every single week. Now, if you are on TikTok here, let's send this video out to other people. Let's try to get some more people in here. And of course, on TikTok, yes, you can actually gift. You can do some. I realize now I am sorry. That's what someone said. Okay. I swear he has a mustache. No mustache. No mustache. Clean shaven. Felt, though. Felt. I do have felt. I do have felt. These little felt puffy fingers. But yeah, so like you said, there is a way I believe to give some financial assistance here on TikTok, which is great. I think we're going to be also talking about memberships on TikTok as well. That way you can actually have a hand in producing the show and the content that we do post on TikTok. We might as well just post some stuff now on TikTok before the government takes it away from us, right? I mean, because that's what they're doing. Josh Hawley, I think, is going to be introducing legislation. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of rigmarole behind all of that, saying that, oh, we're going to ban TikTok, we're going to do, and that's internet censorship. It's internet censorship, and of course, everybody is concerned. Brood, thank you. My most trusted news source is a literal puppet. That's right. Well, the most trusted puppet in media. But everybody is sitting there talking about that TikTok's going to get banned. And they say, well, TikTok's going to get banned. And number one, that's internet censorship. Can't do that. Probably go through a bunch of litigation before if you have government phones, they've already have said that you can't use it. So what is your topic for NOS? For now, my topic for now, well, right now we're talking about TikTok because they're saying they're going to ban TikTok. Well, like I said, I think that's going to be, it's a little bit of a misnomer, them banning TikTok. Well, the government doesn't like competition. That's really what it boils down to. Everybody sits there and says, oh my gosh, look what's happening. China's going to get all of our data. But the NSA, the CIA, and the FBI have been getting your data since the 1940s. They just don't like competition. Maybe that's what it is. Bushmaster 98, shout out. Do it. Just do it. Yeah, that's right. In this country, right? Yes, in this country. Well, in America, they're trying to ban TikTok. Right. So, well, like I said, you might as well try to capitalize on TikTok at the moment. And so, like I said, we will be doing some memberships on TikTok. But if you are on TikTok, send this video out to your friends. Let them know that we are here broadcasting live. Like I said, we are broadcasting live over on Instagram as well, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Right here, there it is. I got cameras all over the place. Goji Fan 91, shout out, good morning to you as well. The phones already listen to us, says the casual twinkler. Yeah, they've been listening to us for a long time, and then they want to sit there and complain about TikTok. Like I said, the government just doesn't want any competition. That's what it is. So anyway, so here we are. Like I said, it is the 28th day of January in the year 2023. Good morning from Manassas, Virginia. Yeah, good morning to you, Manassas, Virginia. I have a hard time seeing exactly who it is. Nats, and then it gets muddied from there. Maybe I need to get some new glasses. I have some new glasses so I can sit there and see things. Redeemer Cust, I see you down in chat too. Just trying to shout out people as they come in. DFS, I see DFS over here in the chat. So I got 3 different chats going all at one time. So love your great reports and style of delivery, says one listener here on TikTok. Thank you so much. Natsu Diku. Okay, Natsu Diku. Okay, there you go. I see it. So now I can see it. Yeah, shout out to everyone. Thank you all for joining. And it's been, like I said, it's been an interesting week. Yesterday, my producer, Germ, over there behind the glass. Yeah, I see you waving back there. No, they're not going to be able to see you. They're not going to be able to see you. All they're going to see is me. But yesterday, Germ was actually on WRVA talking about the show. To my buddy, John Reed. Yes, yeah. So I'm actually a good friend. I am a good friend of John Reed. And, well, of course, because, who in the real media wouldn't want to be a friend to a real media puppet? All these humans are always getting told that they're media puppets, but then all of a sudden there's a real media puppet around. And that real media puppet, they all want to be a fan or a friend of a real media puppet. So, of course, that's what's going on here. But like I said, it is, let's see here. Okay, here's a good morning, Sam. Hear a lot about you. This is the first time ever tune in to one of your lives. Oh, thanks. Yes, Toyo Photo. She says, damn Hasbro, I'm done with it. Sam, done with it. I heard about Hasbro. I'm actually going to do a report a little later this afternoon about Hasbro. Hasbro is, I believe that their phone call is going to be in February. Sam, I'm in TikTok. I'm TikToking. Sam, I'm TikToking. There you go. I like that. Yeah, I see you. It's Triple D over there, over here. Like I said, this is interesting. I'm really getting used to the whole TikTok thing. This is the first live. Well, of course, the first live would be on the Saturday morning. But want to thank you guys all for joining in if it's your first time. And like I said, one of the things that you do need to do is that you need to download the Simple Radio app. And you say, well, why the Simple Radio app? Well, because there will be moments when I get off of here on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter and all these cameras over here. Blah! I'll get off of all the cameras and I'll start playing cartoon themes. Well, because why? Well, it's Saturday morning. And you guys remember Saturday morning. You would sit there and you'd wake up, you'd run down the stairs, grab the biggest sugary bowl of cereal that you could find. And then you would listen to, you'd turn on the TV and watch cartoons for hours and hours and hours on end. Right. And when you would sit there and you would watch cartoons for hours and hours on end, you would sit there and just keep eating that sugary bowl of cereal. You get really, really hyper. Your mom and dad would eventually come downstairs and kick your ass outside. Right. But yeah, but your kids don't go outside anymore. You know what they do? They just go grab a tablet or some video games. Don't you just miss the old days when you go outside and you just grab a stick and have an imagination? Yeah, that stick with your imagination would become anything. It would become anything. Yeah, right. Well, you grab a stick and it would become a sword, or it would become a pistol, or it would become a magic wand. And that's all it was. It was fantastic. Let's see here. Water in the Sunshine. Shout out to Water in the Sunshine. See you over there. Like I said, it's hard for me to see some of those names in TikTok. Is there a way that we can, beef that up? Maybe a little later, but it is. But yeah. So, anyways, like I said, you would sit there. You'd wake up. Your mom and dad would send you outside. You go grab a stick. Try to have an imagination. Whatever happened to imagination? Oh, that's right. Everybody's playing video games now. Everybody's playing video games. But hey, you know what? Like I said, you want to download the Simple Radio app. Just download the Simple Radio app. Search WDCE, and you can listen to the cartoon themes that I'll be playing in between these live segments. Gummy bears. You want me to play some gummy bears? I think I have Gummy Bears, DuckTales, and Chippendales Rescue Rangers. I guess now, well, I guess Gummy Bears add to the D block. D block's not coming up just yet. That'll be in the next hour. That'll be in the next hour where we do play songs on the D block. But like I said, you need to download the Simple Radio app, search WDCE, and you can listen to that live. Another way that you can do that as well is you can go to WDCE.org. That's another simple way to do it. Simple way. Yeah, you can go to WDCE.org. You can listen to the live stream there. Right. So the music blocks will be, because they can't play the music blocks here on the live streams. Next thing you know, I'll get copyright strikes. Right. I've already had that happen before. So, but yeah, DuckTales. Woo. That's right. D2D Life. Shout out to you this morning as well. But yeah, so here we are. Like I said, it is Saturday morning. It's been an interesting week. 9:27 here on the 28th day of January in the year 2023. Now, of course, one of the things that I do every morning is I go and I grab the newspaper. So hold on. Do we have the newspaper over here? Hold on. Grab the newspaper. Show everybody that the newspaper is here. We do have the newspaper. Yes, real news. Yes, that's right. Get that out of my face. All right. So real news. We do have the real newspaper here. I'm not sure if anybody has been seeing the news. Pretty depressing news this morning. Violence escalates. Some people were killed in Israel. That's tragic. A video showing a brutal assault. I was in Memphis. A bunch of riots last night. A bunch of riots. Whatever happened to the days where people would just sit there and go to bed on a Friday, wake up in the morning, and then on Saturday and watch cartoons. Casual says, what? They still make those? Yes, they still make the newspaper. They do. A lot of people read it on a tablet, but I prefer a hard copy. So, but yeah, here we go. A crisis. Memphis chief sees a defining moment. Yeah, the Memphis chief last night, the chief of police, she thought it would be a great idea because there was going to be a peaceful protest. Nothing like peaceful protests that end up, burning things and tearing stuff apart. It was completely peaceful. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she gets on and she says, well, you know what? You don't make us more safe as we make sure that all of the police officers don't have riot gear because we don't want to incite them. What? What is she talking about? Well, yeah, that's right. I guess, right. That's right. It was peaceful. And nothing screams more peaceful. Well, they were sparklers. Okay, I see. It was sparklers. I get it. Yeah, sparklers. That's what it was. No violence at all. Yeah. No, of course, no. Those Molotov cocktails, those are just CGI. Yeah, that's CGI. That doesn't happen at all. But yeah, okay. Another thing that happened was that Ronna McDaniel was elected to a fourth 2-year term as the RNC chair. Yeah, Ronna McDaniel. Yeah, she related to Mitt Romney, right? Yeah. So too early for politics. Too early. Yeah, I think it's too early as well. You know what? All I just want to do is talk about cartoons. I want to talk about cartoons, of course. Hold on. Do we have the phone? Hold on, we have the phone. Hold on, let me go get the phone. Let me go grab the phone. Grab the phone. Grab the phone. All right, we got the phone. All right, so we do have the phone. Of course, I'm waiting for Dave to call in. Dave is Deep Cut Dave. Deep Cut Dave always calls in. The first segment of the show, we have Deep Cut Dave calling in. King of all media puppets, says Ben Bonello over here that I see. Thank you so much, Ben. He is the most trusted puppet in media. They were using beanbag rounds that were filled with metal pellets. Yeah, probably. Thundar the Barbarian. We'll see if we can get Thundar the Barbarian in probably one of the next mixes here in just a few moments. But we do want to get Dave on the line. So I think hopefully Dave is not working. But if he is, I didn't get the email saying that he wasn't. Right? Well, the reason why Dave calls in is because there's a lot of times when people will, there's a lot of cartoons out there. There's a lot of cartoons that you might not have ever heard before. So a lot of cartoons that you might not have ever heard before. And of course, there's maybe so, Kaz, maybe so. And well, there's a lot of cartoons that you might not have ever heard before. And of course, Deep Cut Dave calls in every week just to spread a little knowledge, wax some knowledge on everybody about cartoon themes that you might not have ever heard before. Now, of course, it is interesting, when you're sitting there thinking about cartoon themes, and cartoons go back generations, and it was in 1990 when all of a sudden that went kaput. But I think Dave is now calling here. Let me see if I can grab the phone. Is dun, 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 dun. I think we're here. Okay, hold on. All right, Dave, are you there?
Well, most of me is.
All right, there you are. Hold on, I had to patch you into the board correctly. Now, can you say something again? Whoa! There we go.
Oh,
There, yeah, there you go. Oh, that's what we call waking up in the morning, making sure in case you didn't have your coffee.
having a cup of coffee, I'll tell you.
There you go. So, well, good morning, Dave. How are you this morning? Did you have a wonderful week?
Well, I had a week, just say that.
Well, it has been a week, and one of the things that, like I said, I was just telling the listening audience is that you send me a couple of things every week, and one of the things that I did want to discuss before we get started is, have you seen the new Velma show on HBO?
Only enough to form an opinion.
Okay, and so, all right, so because the reason why I ask is that it seems like every week or so I get a new Scooby-Doo theme. And now, of course, I will get to Scooby-Doo, the theme, in here in just a moment. But I wanted to just discuss this whole Velma thing. It seems to be very polarizing across the board. And, being someone who has been sending me a bunch of different Scooby-Doo themes over the last couple of weeks, I wanted to get your take and opinion about said Velma show.
Well, best review of the show that I saw said it's a perfect pizza cutter.
It's a perfect pizza cutter?
Yeah, all edge, no point.
All edge and no point. So did you get through multiple episodes of the Velma series, or were you able to make it past the first 5 minutes?
Well, I'd say past 10 minutes and decided no, I'm good. Life's too short for this.
Life's too short. Oh, that bad, huh? That bad.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't watch it. All I did was I just kept looking at the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. Last time I checked, it was the third lowest rated show in the history of shows on IMDb, and it was like a 1.3, I believe, is what it was, a 1.3. And so I'm not really sure you can get pretty much lower than that. Of course, I had some people say that is now the lowest, but I don't know. Rotten Tomatoes is terrible. It's like 10%, something ridiculous. But it seems to be getting canned pretty well.
Well, honestly, is it any worse than Turn On?
What's Turn On?
Well, that show was so bad it got canceled midway through its first airing.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, they went to commercial and they just never came back.
Oh man, let's just keep rolling the commercials, because the show. Oh man, that's rough.
Denver market, they decided, we got some highlights from last week's football game. Let's play that. And All Points West, I think they aired like a documentary on gun safety or something.
Well, hey, that's pretty fantastic. That's pretty fantastic. Real quick, shout out to RVA Kitty Whisper. I see that just joined in the chat. If there's any, I'm a big cat fan. Do you prefer cats or dogs?
Well, I have a slight allergy to dogs, so more of a cat person.
Oh, that's okay. A lot of times people say they have allergies to cats. I say the times they say, yeah, but I've become more of a cat person over the last couple of years. Something about cats, they're really fantastic as pets until they try to scratch my felt, and then that's bad. That's really bad. But one of the things that I did want to bring up, like I said, the Scooby-Doo, another thing that I learned about Scooby-Doo, and, I'm going to be playing this Scooby-Doo intro. It says 1982, the Scooby and Scrappy-Doo Puppy Hour. Now, I've been hesitant to play Scrappy-Doo because Scrappy-Doo is like nails on a chalkboard. So, and it's something I cannot stand Scrappy-Doo. In fact, I saw a stat the other day where Tim Curry, he was asked to be in a Scooby-Doo movie, but because Scrappy-Doo was in the movie, he was like, nope, I'm not going to do it. And Tim Curry was a huge Scooby-Doo fan, but because Scrappy-Doo was in the movie, he was like, I'm out. I think that was the sequel Scooby-Doo live action movie. Did you know about that?
Oh, I did not.
Well, the more you know. The more you know. But anyway, so talk to us really quickly. I got a couple of theme songs here, and then we'll get into some wrestling. The Scooby-Doo the Scooby and Scrappy-Doo Puppy Hour. What was that all about?
Well, that was a joint Hanna-Barbera and Ruby Spears production. The first half was Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. Thing is, it was basically two separate segments. The Scooby-Doo portion, basically Scooby and Shaggy have gone off on their own and founded the Fearless Detective Agency.
Okay, so they're
adults who can work now, so.
Okay, so they don't have, so the rest of the crew is not in there? Is it just Scooby and Shaggy?
Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy occasionally shows up.
Ah, okay. And you said it was Hanna-Barbera and Ruby Spears.
Right. Now, the second half, the Scrappy-Doo portion, they decided to give Scrappy his own segment. Scrappy moves out west and lives with his uncle Yabba-Doo, who works with Deputy Dusty, and they solve crime in a western town.
A western town.
Yeah, modern western, yeah.
And so, are any of the other characters in that show as well, or is it just Scrappy-Doo?
No, and I think that's sort of the problem. Dusty is pretty much Shaggy, and Yabba-Doo is, well, he's honestly just Scooby. He just looks shaggier.
Ah, and so how do you know how many episodes that lasted?
That was, I think, 82. I want to say about 82 to 84.
Okay, so for a couple of seasons. So I guess they milked it as much as they could.
Now, getting to the last half of the show was the puppy.
Oh, what puppy?
Well, that actually was a spinoff. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about the ABC Weekend Special.
Correct.
Well, this was spun off from that.
Okay, and did that become popular, or are they just trying to just force it down everybody's eyeballs?
It lasted up to about 86. They just changed the name a couple of times. When they spun it off onto its own show, it was The Puppy's Further Adventures. And when it moved to CBS, it became The Puppy's Greatest Adventures, but it was still the same episodes.
Gotcha. Okay, so now
basically it's about this little puppy. It gets washed overboard. It finds a group of dogs, mostly played by Michael Bell, Peter Cullen, etc. And they just go on adventures trying to find the puppy's owner.
I gotcha. So now the next cartoon is the Little Rascals, Richie Rich and Mon-Chi-Chi's. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Mon-Chi-Chi's. Yes.
Mon-Chi-Chi's, Little Rascals, and Richie Rich show. What is that all about?
Well, again, another continuation. Remember when we played the Pac-Man, Little Rascals, Richie Rich show?
Correct.
Well, the Pac-Man, that was actually ABC's, that was like their #1 show on Saturday morning.
And so they just kept, okay.
Well, let's give Pac-Man, we'll give him his own feature, move him out of the anthology bit, and to replace him, well, at this point, this was 1983, basically ABC really wanted some of that Smurf money.
Smurf money, la 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 la.
Yeah, and Mon-Chi-Chi's, that had been like one of the #1 toys in Japan of the 1970s, and they even had their own TV show over there in 1977.
Okay, and now were the toys ever popular here in America, or was it just a Japan thing?
Well, they were for a bit. ABC decided, well, we'll just commission a whole new show. We won't dub the Japanese show. So they just brought them over here, and the toys were okay.
Gotcha. And so The last cartoon theme is now. Last week was really popular. I will say last week we talked about Fist of the North Star, and that was the deep cut last week, and a lot of feedback, a lot of good feedback. One of the things I might have to get you to start doing is sending us an anime song every week in the mix, because it seemed to spike a lot of chatter in the chats over here. But this week you sent me Fist of the North Star 2. So if I had to be a brainiac about this whole thing, I guess that's a sequel to Fist of the North Star, correct?
Yes. How did you guess?
I think it was the two. It had to be the two. I mean, but I went out on a limb on that one because I wasn't too sure. I see what I did there. Right, yeah, yeah. But yeah. So Fist of the North Star 2, I guess the sequel to the original Fist of the North Star. What's the difference of this, and how? I guess Fist of the North Star was popular enough to warrant a second show.
Yeah, it wasn't quite. I don't know. I get like over here, it would just be another season. In Japan, it was a whole separate show. Wasn't quite as popular. I think it ran something like I want to say 60 episodes, something like that. Not terrible. The music was great, but they dropped everyone's IQ points by about 100.
That's how I feel every time I go into Walmart. Every time I walk into Walmart, I feel like that my IQ drops. And one of the things that I always tell people is when I leave Walmart, the best thing that I have to do is I take and I read a book. I just read a whole book all the way through. That way I can at least get my IQ back to where it was before I actually walked into the store. So I completely understand about the whole IQ dropping and how much that is detrimental. But a book does help.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Fist of the North Star 2, it's like it undoes almost everything the first show did.
Oh, don't you love it when sequels do that? I mean, that's such a smart thing.
The point of Fist of the North Star is Ken's trying to find Julia. The last season, turns out she's alive, and she's being held by his evil older brother, Raoul. And this is spoilers for like a 40-year-old show. But Ken and Raoul fight. Julia's alive. Raoul basically blows himself up. Clears the skies of fallout. It's like, okay, Ken's now the savior of the century's end, and they're going to go off and be happy, and they've restored the world. This is the North Star 2. Yeah, that didn't happen.
So,
oh, she's stone dead.
Okay, all right. So,
like during the fight, Raoul he reveals like, I saw that she has the same sickness that our brother Toki had. I don't want you to go through that pain of losing someone you care about. So I gave her the rest of my life energy. We're still gonna fight, but I cured her. It's like, okay, and she died apparently like 2 days after that. So Raoul only had like a week to live, apparently.
Sounds like you're just throwing stuff up against the wall to make it stick.
Well, right, and because Kenshiro was supposed to be the savior of the centuries, and he didn't do anything. So now the Celestial Empress is in charge of everything. But big reveal is, turns out she's basically a puppet.
Well, hey, that's right up my alley.
Well, yeah. Oh, and it turns out, Kenshiro had two kid sidekicks, Bats and Ren. The Celestial Empress is actually Ren's identical twin sister.
I mean, so it just sounds like there's a lot going on there with the.
Right. And it turns out the Empress she's a person, but she's also a puppet. This guy is basically saying, "Oh yes, the Empress wants you to build giant palaces," and it's baffling. It's like, why is everyone listening to this guy? He literally cannot fight and almost wets himself when it's dark. It's like, why are you helping him? It's like, well, he knows where the Empress is, so smack him.
Oh.
That's the thing. It's like he has all like these incredibly powerful generals. It's like, oh, we hate him so much, but he only knows he's the only one who knows where the Empress is. It's like, well, here's an idea. Hold him upside down and shake him. Maybe he'll tell you where she is.
Man, well, it sounds it sounds like I said that they're just well, like you said, it was just they just took everything from the first series and just kind of just threw it in the trash can.
Well, right. And then, well, yeah. Then turns out the Emperor he kidnaps Ren and goes to the land of Shura. That's where the Hoto no Shinken was developed. And it's a land of idiots.
Terrible.
It's like all they do is fight. Like that's it. Like, how are you all not dead of scurvy?
Well, it's a cartoon. You have to use your imagination, Dave. I mean, you know how that goes. So.
But it's like, no, literally, all they do is fight. They don't farm. They don't build anything.
Hey, well, what's the well, listen? What's the well, what's the first rule of Fight Club? You don't talk about Fight Club. So maybe the first rule of Fist of the North Star 2 is that you just forget everything about Fist of the North Star 1. But
and that's another problem. It's like, we introduce, Kinshiro has an actual brother. It's like, well, he already had 2 of them. It's like, no, brothers can't fight. It's like, but he just spent the last season fighting them.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's
another guy. It's like, oh, you're my best friend. I trust you with my life. He is trying to kill you. He is throwing boulders at your head. How do you not see that?
Oh man, it sounds rough, but we are going to play that. Yeah.
You've got like great red clouds of evil pouring off of him. It's like, this is a guy you can trust.
Well, I can trust it, I guess. Well, that it is something that it sounds pretty ridiculous on all fronts. Now, in the last few minutes that I have with you here is that I want to talk. I know that you are quite the savant when it comes to wrestling. Tonight is the Royal Rumble. Tonight is the Royal Rumble. And the Royal Rumble has always been my favorite pay-per-view, gimmick pay-per-view, I guess, if you want to call it that. My favorite favorite pay-per-view that I've always have had that I enjoy watching. I think it's just because you never know who might show up and when they might show up. And of course, I do know that you probably know who the first Royal Rumble winner was, and that was.
Well, technically, the first Royal Rumble was in 1987 at a house show.
Oh, well, see, I knew that you were going to throw me a curveball right there. So, but I'm talking about the actual pay-per-view. What was and who was that? Who was that?
Oh, geez. I want to say Hulk Hogan.
Negative. I don't think he was on pay-per-view. It might have been on USA. I don't know. It was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the first Royal Rumble winner. Technically the first Royal Rumble winner. Right, absolutely. But that is tonight. Now I don't have the spread or the betting lines here in front of me for the Royal Rumble. But if you had to make a guess of who's going to win both the men's and women's Royal Rumble, who would it be?
Okay, well, you want to hear picks for the rest of the matches or not?
Not the rest of the matches. Just give me the 2 Rumbles. That's it.
Okay, well, for the women, with the Royal Rumble, I always have like 2 picks. For the women's, I'm either going to say Rhea Ripley or Rachel Rodriguez.
Rhea Ripley, or Rachel Rodriguez. And what about for the men?
For the men's, again, picking Raw and SmackDown, I'm going to go with either Cody Rhodes or Braun Strowman. All
right, well, there you go. So we're going to be watching that and listening, or we're going to see if you're right about that this evening. I'm not really sure. The Cody Rhodes pick does seem like a good one for me. And of course, I'm waiting for Matt Cardona to eventually show back up in the WWE sometime as well. I do know that he just recently got the Zack Ryder trademark, which was very interesting. I did see that across my news feed earlier in the week, but it's great. But the Royal Rumble tonight, 8:00. You heard Dave's picks over there. Dave, it's been fantastic talking to you this morning. I'm going to play these theme songs here and a couple of wrestling jams as well. If I don't play the wrestling jams this segment, I might play them on the back end of the next hour too. But Dave, thank you so much for giving us a call. And like I said, we'll talk some more wrestling in the future because I do know that you are quite the wrestling savant. And also looking forward to your deep cut cartoon themes for next week. Dave, thank you so much for calling into the show.
Okay, well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's Deep Cut Dave, everybody. Deep Cut Dave Coming in with the knowledge, coming in hot with the knowledge for cartoon themes. Now, one of the things that you can do, I want you to download the Simple Radio app. Download the Simple Radio app, search WDCE. And when you search WDCE, you'll be able to listen to the show and the cartoon themes that I'm about to play here in the next segment. Because I can't play those here on where I'm at right now. Like I said, we are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. TikTok as well. First time on TikTok. And then also here on Instagram. Now, we'll be back on all of these platforms in just a few minutes. But like I said, what I need you to do, download the Simple Radio app, search WDCE, and you can listen to these themes as I play them here in this music break. And like I said, we'll be back on the other side of this break here in just a few moments. Here for the only radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia on Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real puppet from the most trusted puppet in media. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday Morning.